And good morning, high school football fans. Welcome to High School Sports Roundup here on ESPN Radio, Coastal Georgia and Okefenokee. PJ Zucco here with you this morning, all presented by Walker Jones Chevrolet here on the Roundup. And that's it. It's over. You blink your eyes, and we're at the end of the regular season here for the GHSA and Giza in the state of Georgia. I know up the coast a little bit in South Carolina, skis, all that good stuff. You have the first round of the playoffs last night, but in the state of Georgia, it's all wrapped up there after last night, and we're looking forward to the playoffs. And a number of teams around the area, as always, punching their ticket to the playoffs last night. And for some of these teams, it came down to the last quarter, the last game of the season. Some of these teams knew exactly where they were going last night and what was happening. But, several different areas, several different teams. Of course, it took till last night to figure it out and get it done. And they were able to do exactly that. And looking forward to that. You had some teams in the area going undefeated, winning region championships. And I'll tell you what, it's not just about punching your ticket to the playoffs. I don't think for a lot of these teams, it's about, what kind of noise do you make in the playoffs? And I think we're going to have, I know I say this a lot, but I think we're going to have several different teams that are playing not only next week, but several weeks into the season, into the postseason. So looking forward to this over the next month and trying to work their way to the state championship games here in about a month up there in Atlanta. And several teams trying to do exactly that. I think several teams from the area have that kind of potential and that kind of talent. But let's go through the roundup, and then we'll do the yearly special of going through all these playoff brackets, all 7 or 8 of them. They're on GHSA.net, so certainly looking forward to going through that with you. But for the scores from last night, and I'm going to do all up and down the coast, as this certainly a lot of games affected by some games in the Savannah area and whatnot last night. Some Okefenokee teams affected by that. And, of course, you have matchups in 3A between that Savannah region and the coastal Georgia Okefenokee region as well. So we'll take a look at all that here and scores from last night from both those regions as well. But up there in Effingham County, Brunswick High goes on the road trying to win that region championship, also trying to finish the season undefeated, and the Pirates do exactly that with a solid defense there all night. Effingham made it interesting for sure. But Brunswick High comes home with the victory, 21-18. The Pirates up 21-3 at one point there in that ball game. Effingham kind of comes storming back. Brunswick High, though, able to hold on and get the victory there for the Pirates, 21-18. Again, finish off the season 10-0. What a season it's been for the Pirates. Some very dominant wins, some close victories. You have the city championship where they go into overtime there as well and get the win. So huge season there by Brunswick. Congratulations for the Pirates. And, of course, winning the region championship, getting that 1 seed and moving on into the playoffs. And Glen Academy does the same thing with a win last night, moving into the playoffs. And it was winner take all, right? A very simple situation ahead of the Red Terrors and Statesboro. And in Glen County Stadium, Glen Academy dominated. 34-7, the victory over Statesboro. And this a team in Statesboro that got a victory over Richmond Hill earlier in the season. If you would have asked me, 4 or 5 weeks ago, if I was more confident in Effingham or Statesboro, I would have told you Statesboro with the win they had there over Richmond Hill. You had Richmond Hill beating Effingham County to start off region play, and then everything just kind of seemed like it got flipped on his head. Last week, Effingham gets the victory, and that's the other thing, right? A lot of things had to fall for Glen Academy to be able to get the opportunity last night. They get the opportunity, they take the most of it, and in certain situations like that, you have one thing presented in front of you, you got to go out and get it, and both those teams had the same thing out in front of them. Statesboro just wasn't there last night. Glen Academy coming off the bye week as well. And either way, Rocky Hidalgo and the Red Terrors were ready to play and defended their home turf well there with a 34-7 victory over Statesboro. Ware County getting a win over Wayne County. Talk about defending their home turf well. The Gators do that in 5A, and Ware County wins the region championship there with a 50-0 victory over Wayne County. Wayne County going to fall short and miss the playoffs this year after a tough season. Veterans going to be the 4 seed there. Warner Robins the 2, and Coffee the 3. We'll go through the brackets here in just a second. Had a region championship game in Pierce County as well, and the Bears shut down Appling County. Appling, undefeated season, no more. Pierce County gets the win 20-0. And love how just kind of like old school defensive, football Pierce County is able to play. And they have several athletes for sure on the offensive side of the ball as well. And they were able to put up 20 points against a really solid defense there in Appling County. And 0-0 at halftime, just kind of an old school type of football game when you talk about that defensive struggle. Pierce County, though, able to score 20 there in the second half and win that one, win the region championship, spoil the undefeated season for Appling County, and grab the 1 seed moving into the playoffs as well. This is going to sound odd, but Brantley County, I feel like the most important game to Brantley County last night wasn't the one they played. A non-region game against Berrien last night. They fall to Berrien 27-7. And a tough one there. You want to be able to win that game, move into the playoffs with some momentum. But they move into the playoffs. And again, this was up in the air moving into last night. Long County, though, gets the win over Tattnall County 28-22. And that's exactly what Brantley County was looking for with that. Tattnall County, no wins in region play. Yeah, Brantley County with a win over Tattnall and the loss to Long County. So Brantley County making it in the playoffs there, the 4 seed there out of that region, and looking forward to their 3rd playoff berth in the last 4 years. And you look at, was texting with Coach Jeff Cannon this morning, and you look at in the first 50 years of Brantley County football, 2 playoff berths, and in the last 4 years, 3 playoff berths for the Brantley County Herons. So awesome way to put things together there, and looking forward to seeing Brantley County in the playoffs here next week after that win by Long County. Now, talk about the regions they're matched up against there, and it's going to be the Savannah region. And from that region last night, a playoff berth on the line between Johnson and Beach. Johnson gets the win there 38-0. Johnson will be the 3 seed. Southeast Bullock wins their game against Grove 62-12. And Windsor Forest gets the win over Savannah High 39-12. Windsor Forest will be the 4 seed and will take on Liberty County. Excuse me. No. Obviously, Windsor Forest will be the 4 seed and will take on Pierce County. Southeast Bullock will be the 2 seed and looking forward to taking on Long County there. Yeah, Johnson is the 3 seed. They'll end up playing Appling County, and Brantley County, the 4 seed, will take on Liberty County. So that's how that's all sorted out. Again, we'll get to the brackets here and make it easier for myself in a second being able to read that. But Charlton County gets a win last night over Atkinson 14-0. It was clinch over Lanier last night 35-13. Irwin County defeating Turner County 35-12. McIntosh County Academy with the win over Jenkins County 32-0. That secures the 3 seed there for McIntosh County Academy. So great, solid season for the Buccaneers. They're going to be a tough team to face on the road. So whoever's the 2 seed that they're matched up with, we'll see in just a second. They got their hands full for sure. Metter gets the win over ECI, winning the region championship there. Metter, an undefeated season as well, 38-0. Talk about undefeated seasons. Calvary Day up there in Savannah gets the win over Aquinas, winning a region championship 44-0. Savannah Christian and Savannah Country Day goes into overtime. Savannah Country Day gets the win there 31-24. They lock up a home playoff game as well for the Hornets up there in Savannah. Frederica Academy gets back to 500 to finish off the season. They defeat Trinity Christian last night 42-17. So Frederica Academy next week secures a home playoff, a playoff berth, obviously, and a bye week moving into the first round of the Giza playoffs. So congratulations to them as well. Coffee and Camden off last night. But again, let's look into now these brackets. Probably it's, I heard it kind of talked about last night. It's kind of like our Christmas morning for high school football. And, you can compare and contrast. Is it this morning with all the playoff berths and looking at these brackets, or is it the state championship games in a month? I think it depends on if you're playing in a state championship game or not. But either way, I think this is a very exciting and a morning to get to look at all these brackets as always. But you look in 7A and out of Region 1, Camden County does get the playoff berth. They're the 4 seed. They will take on North Cobb. So looking forward to North Cobb, the road trip for Camden County next week. Also out of Region 1, you have Lowndes, who won the region championship. They will host Harrison there next week. And looking at the left side of that bracket, you have Colquitt County hosting Walton there next week. Colquitt County with the 2 seed there out of Region 1, and Tift County, the 3 seed, they will be on the road at Marietta. Now switching over to 6A, you have Brunswick High, and don't have an update there for Brunswick High and the team they're facing there out of Region 4. But you look down for Glen Academy, they will be on the road there at Langston Hughes. So Glen Academy going to be on the road at Langston Hughes there next week in the 4-1 matchup. On the right side, you have Effingham County and Richmond Hill still without opponents. So you have a 3-way tie. Obviously, there's the issue there. I'm guessing there in Region 4, and 3 matchups not filled out on the brackets. So I teased the brackets for so long there coming into the segment. And of course, not all the brackets filled up. So you're going to have that in these types of situations. We'll see what the tiebreakers are and everything like that. There for Region 4. We'll talk to these coaches as well. Looking forward to chatting with Sean Pender here in just a few minutes and talking about their matchup, or at least their prospective matchup. And we'll see if he has better knowledge than me on kind of what's going on there with those empty slots. So we'll see about that. But Ware County moving forward there in 5A. You have Ware County hosting Banneker coming up next week out of Region 3. You have Warner Robins hosting Jonesboro. Ware County, Coffee, going to be on the road at Creekside, and you have Veterans traveling to Woodward Academy. So again, Ware County on the bottom right, hosting Banneker there, and you have Calhoun. I mean, they could play each other in the Sweet 16. Calhoun and Decatur on the other side of that bracket. So that could be a big matchup there just in round 2. So that kind of wild there. But looking at 4A as well, and for that Savannah 4A region, you have Benedictine hosting Thomas County Central next week. Down in the bottom right quadrant, you have Islands on the road at number 1 Bainbridge. New Hampstead, number 1 seed out of Region 1. You have New Hampstead on the road at Cairo there in Region 1 and Team 2. And Jenkins going to be hosting Daughtery there in Savannah next week out of 4A. So looking forward to that without a doubt. 3A, we chatted about just a few seconds ago. There in the top right quadrant, you have Liberty County hosting Brantley County next week. Bottom right quadrant, you have Pierce County there. And again, not everything filled out for whatever reason, but Pierce County going to be hosting Windsor Forest there next week. Pierce County, again, going to be hosting Windsor Forest. Appling County will be hosting Johnson there in the bottom left quadrant. And on the top left, you have Southeast Bullock hosting Long County there next week in the first round of the playoffs. So certainly looking forward to that as well. And those big matchups between kind of the Okefenokee area and the Savannah area there in 3A. And we'll move to Single A Public and see what we have here. You have ECI, top left quadrant. They will be hosting Terrell County. So looking forward to that without a doubt. ECI is a very strong football team. And again, not a lot filled out here. Bottom right quadrant or top right quadrant, you have Metter with the undefeated season. They'll be hosting Seminole County. So still have some outliers there in Single A Public to get sorted out there. So we'll look forward to kind of checking in on that as the show goes on. You never know with these quadrants and how they get things sorted out and put into the system, could be filled out by the time we get done with the show. We'll figure all that out as the show moves on. But top left in a Single A Private, you have Savannah Country Day. They're hosting Stratford Academy. I believe that's a matchup from earlier this year, a rematch between those two teams. In the right side, you have Calvary Day hosting at Mount DeSales. there in Mount DeSales, a team that is familiar with the Savannah area. Have played a few teams from the Savannah area throughout the year. Bottom left, you have Savannah Christian traveling to Tatnall Square Academy, and bottom right, you have Aquinas hosting or traveling to First Presbyterian Day. They're coming up next week. So a lot of interesting matchups without a doubt. And, if Ware County is able to push through, that is a very interesting prospective matchup in the second round of the playoffs, as you have Calhoun kind of waiting in the wings there, Region 2, Region 7, Team 2 there, taking on Decatur. And then looking through also in that quadrant, you have Stars Mill, a very solid football team there out of Region 2. They're on that side. But Ware County taking on Banneker next week, and certainly looking forward to all these matchups without a doubt, as there's some good ones. And again, I think a lot of prospective teams around the area that really could make some big noise in the playoffs, could be talking about semifinal berths. And of course, at the end of the day, everyone's looking for that state championship. But we'll come back, start talking to some coaches here on the High School Sports Roundup about, of course, these wins last night and moving into the playoffs as well, all around the coastal Georgia and Okefenokee area here on the High School Sports Roundup, presented by Walker Jones Chevrolet on ESPN Radio, Coastal Georgia and Okefenokee, the ESPN app, ESPNCoastal.com.
Life moves fast. At Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, we'll help you keep up with it.
And welcome back. It's High School Sports Roundup presented by Walker Jones Chevrolet here on ESPN Radio, Coastal Georgia and Okefenokee, the ESPN app, ESPNCoastal.com. PJ Zucco here with you as we take a look at all the big scores from last night and, of course, look forward to the playoffs for most of these teams in the Coastal Georgia and Okefenokee area as well. Last night, Brunswick High finishing off the perfect regular season with a 21-18 victory over Effingham County, winning that region championship as well. Glen Academy punches their ticket to the playoffs with a win over Statesboro, 34-7. Ware County over Wayne, 50-0. You have Pierce County winning the region championship with a 20-0 win over Appling. Brantley falls to Berrien, 27-7, but punches their ticket to the playoffs with a Long County win over Tatnall, 28-22. Charlton County with the win over Atkinson, 14-0. You have McIntosh County Academy defeating Jenkins County, 32-0 last night as well. And Frederica Academy over Trinity Christian, 42-7. But again, Brunswick High finishing off the regular season undefeated with a 21-18 victory over Effingham County last night. Hard fought, especially there in the second half by the Pirates, and turning Effingham County away a few times defensively to hold on to the win and finish off 10-0 throughout the regular season, undefeated in region play. Obviously, that wins you the region championship and a 1 seed coming up in the playoffs for the Pirates. And joining us now, the head coach of the Brunswick High Pirates, Sean Pender, here on the High School Sports Roundup. Coach Pender, great to have you. Congratulations, first of all, but how you doing this morning?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing, PJ?
I'm doing well, Coach, without a doubt as well. And yeah, I can imagine doing pretty well this morning, Coach. You travel up to Effingham last night, get the 21-18 victory. We're up 21-3. Effingham comes back with a big second half, but I know, rainy and wet up there in Effingham there last night as well. And at the end of the day, though, that Black Flag defense able to hold strong late in the ball game, hold on to that 21-18 win. And of course, you finish off the perfect season of region championship. That's all Brunswick Highs this year as well.
Oh yeah. This year there's no sharing the title, and we were able to get the number 1 seed. So that's definitely a blessing for sure. The game was a hard fought game. You got to give a lot of credit to Effingham and what they did. How hard they played, and they could have. When we jumped up. First quarter was 3-0 them. Second quarter, we just had a great second quarter and scored 21 points. And then coming out of halftime, they got some breaks. We did support things. They blocked a punt. We had a muff punt. We dropped a kickoff. Just doing things to implode. And by doing that, we were giving Effingham really good field position, and they were able to take advantage of some of that, but they could have took advantage of more. But our defense really stepped up and played extremely well and played championship caliber football last night.
Yeah, absolutely, Coach. You talk about that. I mean, defensively, being able to turn them away, have a big batted down ball in the end zone there late in the game. Obviously, able to turn them away, force a field goal try there in the second half as well that ends up going wide left and missing there for Effingham County, which obviously turned out to be pretty big, kind of one of the differences in the football game. But I mean, even in the first half, being able to hold them to only 3 points in the first half was huge with the opportunities that they got there in the second half. And like you said, just playing championship caliber defense. And when you needed it the most, they're able to come up with big plays.
Oh yeah, PJ. It was all in all, the difference in the game wasn't that the missed field goal that they did either. Watching the game, there's a lot of things that impacted it. We actually blocked a field goal, and then they called us offsides not once but twice, giving them the ball right there on inches, 4th and inches, and then instead of going for a field goal, they went for a touchdown, and we stopped them short, but they still raised it for a touchdown there. So. There's a lot of little things here and there. I guess it depends on what story and who you're hearing it from. And then, we had some, timely holding calls in the fourth quarter, driving, keeping us where we couldn't go anywhere. We actually would get something going, then a penalty would put us behind the sticks. Stuff like that started happening to us in the third quarter, and just really frustrating. So I was very proud of the way our defense were able to bow their necks and make things, just do what they needed to do to overcome all the alleged mistakes and the mistakes that we did make. I mean, we like I said, we muffed the punt. We had we fumbled a kickoff. Just things like that. Just really tough third quarter for us. And again, Effingham took advantage of that situation, and we just couldn't get anything going offensively. But the big point of that game to me was our punter in the fourth quarter punted a beautiful ball. He got it off really quick, and it went down to the 4-yard line and just changed the field position in that game. And once that happened, Effingham couldn't cross the 50, and then we were able to get a victory.
Yeah, absolutely. Huge there. And like you mentioned, funny that starts happening in big games like that where you have, things getting tighter, flags start getting thrown a little bit more frequently there, and things get a little bit more tight. But thankfully, our Brunswick High able to play through it. Like you said, able to play through those punts as well. Because I know with weather in the area, you had both teams had some struggles punting the football there last night. But when you needed it the most, punter able to come through with a big punt and swing that field position, change the field position, which is big in these types of games, no doubt, and doesn't, I don't think, get talked about enough. But chat with Sean Pender, head coach of the Brunswick High Pirates. They defeat Effingham County there last night, 21-18, preserving that perfect season, winning the region championship and grabbing the 1 seed for the Pirates as we move into the playoffs. But coach, obviously defensively played well, offensively there in the first half, especially able to get those points on the board, and you have Jacoby Hill able to burst in, get into the end zone and score there early. Jaden Drayton with the running game as well, able to score a touchdown there. And then again, Jeffrey Way with the big touchdown pass, a huge shot over the top to Terry Mitchell, to grab that third touchdown of the night before halftime.
Oh yeah, those are great. And the thing is doing a night like that, you really need good defensive play. And both Effingham and us both played very good defense. Both of our offenses struggled. Both of us had issues on special teams. But all in all, we were able to come away with a victory, and I'm proud that we were able to go up to their place and bring home this victory and the region title and an undefeated regular season.
Yeah, without a doubt, Coach. And again, we keep saying that undefeated regular season, and at the end of the day, it's about winning that region championship, grabbing the 1 seed, and now you have more business to take care of. Certainly, it's not about just getting here and then stopping, but then again, having a team like this, it has to be special to go undefeated there, and of course, win the region championship. You have a team like this where, going through the season, people kept referencing that 1999 season and how strong it was for the Pirates. And now you have a season like that of your own where and these guys know they're going to be a part of something that people are always going to look back on. How special is that to be a part of that, but also to know, hey, we still got business in front of us to take care of as well?
Of course, it's going to be special, PJ. But again, right now we're going to be locked into playing. We got a surprise last night with Lovejoy got upset by North Atlanta. And we thought we'd be going, if we were number 1 seed, we'd be playing Tucker. And with Tucker losing last night to Westlake, and then Lovejoy getting upset by North Atlanta was able to creep into the playoffs or get into the playoffs. And through the tie-breaking situation, now North Atlanta is going to be the 4 seed. Lovejoy is going to still be the 3 seed. And now we have to play North Atlanta, who's playing pretty good football right now.
Well, there you go. And like you said, moving forward into that, and a good update there as well was probably going to be my next question there, with North Atlanta coming to Brunswick and Glenn County Stadium to take on the Pirates. There is they didn't have things quite updated just yet on GHSA.net, but appreciate that, Coach. North Atlanta coming to Brunswick to take on the Pirates here next week with the 1 seed Brunswick High Pirates starting their trip there in the playoffs. But Coach, again, Sean Pender, head coach of the Brunswick High Pirates, our guest here on the High School Sports Roundup, presented by Walker Jones Chevrolet. Coach, I appreciate it. Congratulations once again on the win last night and the region championship, but best of luck, and can't wait to talk to you again soon as we move forward, and look forward to a big playoff run from the Pirates.
All right. Thank you, PJ, and I'll talk to you next Saturday.
All right. Sounds great, Coach. Sean Pender, head coach of the Brunswick High Pirates, our guest here on the High School Sports Roundup. So the Pirates punched their ticket, obviously, in the playoffs, hosting North Atlanta coming up next week. Glen Academy did the same thing last night in Glen County Stadium. Winner-take-all situation right there for the 4 seed between the Red Terrors and Statesboro. Glen Academy won that one 34-7. We'll come back, chat with Rocky Hidalgo, head coach of the Red Terrors, here on the High School Sports Roundup, presented by Walker Jones Chevrolet on ESPN Radio, Coastal Georgia, and Okefenokee. And welcome back to High School Sports Roundup, presented by Walker Jones Chevrolet, here on ESPN Radio Coastal Georgia and Okefenokee. PJ Zucco here with you as we take a look at the last week of the regular season, finishing up there last night for GHSA and looking ahead to the playoffs as well. Brunswick High last night gets a win over Effingham 21-18. It was Glen Academy punching their tickets to the playoffs with a win over Statesboro 34-7. Ware County over Wayne 50-0. Pierce County defeating Appling County, winning the region championship there with a 20-0 win. Berrien over Brantley 27-7, but Brantley making it into the playoffs with a 28-22 victory for Long County over Tatnall. It was Clinch over Lanier last night 35-13. Irwin defeating Turner County 35-12. McIntosh County Academy over Jenkins County 32-0. And Frederica Academy gets the win over Trinity Christian 42-17. But again, Glen Academy able to come out in Glen County Stadium, defend the home turf well, and beat Statesboro 34-7 with that, punching their ticket to the playoffs here for the 14th straight year for the Red Terrors. And Rocky Hidalgo, head coach of the Glen Academy Red Terrors, joins us here on the High School Sports Roundup. Coach, great to have you on. Thanks for coming on this morning. How you doing?
I'm good, man.
Well, Coach, good to hear. Glad to have you on. And again, yeah, huge win last night over Statesboro 34-7. And you come out of the bye week, a late in the season bye week there, obviously. And everyone knows the situation that you have in front of you with Effingham defeating Statesboro the week before. And, you know, everything on the line, playoff berth on the line for both teams. And Red Terrors were spiced up or ready to go there in the first half. And able to take control of that one throughout the first half and obviously get that huge victory over Statesboro.
Our kids played really well. It was probably our best game that we played all season. Offensively, we had kids went out and made plays. Tyler played really well at quarterback or offensive line. The best game they played all year. Obviously, Greg Peacock had a big night. Defensively, we played well on defense all year long. It's good to see us go out, finish the season with a good, strong win, and hopefully we have to get after. Got a tough task in front of us with Langston Hughes.
Yeah, Coach, absolutely. And like you said, defensively have been playing pretty solid all year and have been looking for that offense to be able to put those collective and consistent drives together and able to do that a lot there last night. You have Zach Ellis with some huge runs, a big touchdown to open the game. Again, Tyler Devlin able to move the football very well throughout the pass game also. And like you said, kind of have that best performance of the year when you needed it the most.
It is what it is. And our kids really, they had a great week of practice last week. We changed some things up, and they responded.
Yeah, for sure. And playing well there last night with the win over Statesboro. Coach, how much do you think, like you said, a solid week of practice last week, and you have the bye right before this matchup with Statesboro? How much do you think did the bye week contribute to the guys coming out and being able to play their best game of the year there last night?
I don't necessarily think it was so much of the bye week. I think it was, we made some, let me just say, personnel changes in the locker room, and I think from a chemistry standpoint, our kids benefited from that. We didn't have distractions. They were able to go out, and not just our players, but our coaches and kids were able to go out and enjoy the time they spent out there together, had some fun, and I knew we were going to play well.
Yeah, so sometimes you can just feel that for sure. Like you said, some changes there as well, moving forward for the Red Terrors, and able to play an extremely good football game there last night against Statesboro. Get the win 34-7. Chatting with Rocky Hidalgo, head coach of the Glen Academy Red Terrors here on the High School Sports Roundup. And Coach, again, defensively come out, make huge plays, keep Statesboro frustrated really all night. And like you said, defense has been playing very strong throughout the year and especially in region play, but again, able to consistently play well and get under Statesboro's skin there last night.
Yeah, I think we just kind of hemmed them up. They've got some really good skill in the backfield. We tackled pretty well. Gave up some big plays here or there, but for the most part, we kind of hunkered in there and it made them drive the field, and it worked out for us.
Yeah, Coach, absolutely. You have a big blocked field goal as well there in the first half, able to create some even more excitement and get the blood flowing even more for the Red Terrors. How big was that? Obviously, you look for big plays on special teams throughout the course of the year all the time, but having that in the first half, getting the excitement there in the crowd and everything like that as well had to be big for the Red Terrors there early in the game.
Yeah, we had seen it on film. We felt like we had a chance to block a punt. And the kids did a nice job to execute it. Got in there and created a play. I mean, that's what it comes down to. Kids going out and doing what their coaches do.
That coach for sure. And how much of this? I mean, you talk about your team being in this type of situation, kind of backs against the wall, and again, both teams knowing the situation, knowing what's on the line going into the ball game, and you want to win every game you're a part of. But how big is this for them to be able to come out and, like I said, just I think shows the character of this team, being able to see what's in front of them, come out and have such a big game and such a big moment as well for the Red Terrors to be able to punch their ticket to the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is really a program win for us. Our kids, they had every opportunity to pack their bags and hang it up on the season. They didn't do that. I'm proud of. I mean, when I say this, it was as big a win as I've had there, just from the standpoint of, and our kids fought their tails off all week long, went to practice, and kind of overcame a lot of adversity. So I'm proud of them.
Absolutely, did exactly that. And with that, Glenn Academy punches their ticket to the playoffs, grabs the 4 seed. They're coming out of this region and going to be traveling up to Langston Hughes coming up next week. And Coach, obviously, they had a very solid season, won their region championship. But as for Glenn Academy moving into the playoffs, what are you going to look from your team this week as you prepare for a big playoff game coming up next Friday? What do you need to see from them?
Yeah, I want to see us to improve. That's the big thing. I felt like that we made a lot of strides in the last week and a half. I want to see us do it again for another week. Langston Hughes has great football team, super talented here. So, for us to go out there and compete, we have to play great. We can't play okay. We can't have any. It's one of those things. We can't have any bad plays. We got to go out there and play great from start to finish. And probably going to have to beat a team that's a lot more talented. That's the goal.
Like you said, with what happened this week, all starts this week in practice for the Red Terrors. And like you said, building that momentum throughout the week in practice, getting the win over Statesboro last night, executing well on both sides of the ball and winning that one. And the Glenn Academy reaching the playoffs here for the 14th straight year for the Red Terrors with that 37 victory over Statesboro last night in Glenn County Stadium. But Coach Hidalgo, thank you for joining us here this morning. Rocky Hidalgo, head coach of Glenn Academy Red Terrors, here with us on the High School Sports Roundup. And Coach, we'll certainly hear from you again soon. Congratulations on the win and best of luck moving forward.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Appreciate it, Coach. Rocky Hidalgo, head coach of the Glenn Academy Red Terrors football team, here with us on the High School Sports Roundup. And you heard it there. I mean, solid week of practice from the Red Terrors, executed well, and it felt like they were going to win the game going into it. Coach Hidalgo, knowing, listen, we executed well all week, had one of our best weeks of practice all week, and then that translates to probably the best game of football they've played this year, especially on the offensive side of the ball. And defensively, you kept strong with what you've been doing all year, and especially throughout region play. Saw that offense really start to click for Glenn Academy there in last night's game and win. And now, yeah, Langston Hughes, a very talented football team for sure. They win their region championship. But with the Red Terrors being able to put the ball in the end zone and consistently move that football, if they can do the same thing next week, watch out. Watch out. There's been plenty of 4-1 matchups, 4-1 upsets. There always has been in the GHSA playoffs. So Glenn Academy looking for that next week at Langston Hughes. But we'll come back, probably take one more scan through these playoff brackets and get you all prepared for the first round of the GHSA playoffs when we come back here on the High School Sports Roundup, presented by Walker Jones Chevrolet on ESPN Radio, Coastal Georgia, and Okefenokee. Welcome back. High School Sports Roundup here on ESPN Radio, Coastal Georgia and Okefenokee. Presented by Walker Jones Chevrolet. PJ Zucco here with you on the Roundup. Might be the end of the world as we know it, but not for some of these playoff teams here in Coastal Georgia and Okefenokee. One more time through the brackets before we let you go for this weekend. Camden County, the 4th seed, they punched their ticket. And I've been using that phrase a lot this morning. I understand that. Camden County, though, making their way to the playoffs, traveling to North Cobb there next week. We move to 6A. We have Effingham County on the top right, finishing 3rd, traveling to going to be on the road there next week. Brunswick High going to be hosting North Atlanta. You have the note there from Coach Pender from Brunswick High. So you have the Pirates hosting North Atlanta. You have Glen Academy traveling to Langston Hughes there next week, and a 3-way tie there on the other side of the bracket for opponents for Effingham and Statesboro there as well, Richmond Hill there as well. So we'll look forward to kind of checking in on that throughout the week and let you know who they play, obviously, next Saturday. Ware County taking on Banneker there, the 4th seed there that Ware County is going to be facing next week, and certainly looking forward to that. In 3A, you have Liberty County hosting Brantley County there next week. You have Pierce County going to be hosting Windsor Forest. Appling County going to be hosting Johnson, and Long County going to be on the road there at Southeast Bullock. And Single A Public, you have ECI hosting Terrell County, and Metter hosting Seminole County, and a lot of Single A Public not filled out there on GHSA.net. You have Savannah Country Day and Single A Private, though, hosting Stratford Academy. Calvary Day hosting Mount DeSales. Aquinas on the road at First Presbyterian, and Savannah Christian on the road there at Tatnall Square Academy. But several of these matchups are what we'll be looking forward to here from next week. But some huge wins for Coastal Georgia and Okefenokee area teams last night. Congratulations to the region champions in the area, Brunswick High, Ware County, Pierce County there from last night as well, and everyone else who has punched their ticket to the playoffs. McIntosh County Academy, Frederica Academy making it in as well. Charlton County, you have Brantley County for the 3rd time in 4 years. The Herons making it to the playoffs, and Glen Academy with the win over Statesboro punches their ticket to the playoffs as well on the road at Langston Hughes there next week for the Red Terrors. What a week it was. We'll look forward to the first round of the GHSA and Giza playoffs next week. High School Sports Roundup every Saturday from 9 to 10 a.m. here on ESPN Radio, Coastal Georgia and Okefenokee. And hope you have a fantastic rest of your weekend. Stay safe wherever you go. God bless.